to be here with the next generation of the leaders of Bangladesh R&D industry. A few days ago, a journalist asked me a question. He says, what are the three reasons for professional success? And I say, obviously, very quickly, well, hard work, transparency, and commitment. But then I say to him, and this is probably the most important reasons. More than 30 years ago, I chose Bangladesh. That's why I think that I have to tell everybody that looking back today, I can honestly say it was one of the best decisions of my life. Bangladesh gave me opportunities, it allowed me to grow professionally, build businesses and become part of one of the world's most remarkable economic success stories. That is why I always tell the international business community, and I believe it very strongly when I say, Bangladesh is a land of opportunity. It's a country with resilient entrepreneurs, a dynamic workforce, and enormous potential for investment. It is now time to prove that Bangladesh is ready for its next chapter. And I believe that that chapter has already begun. Many of you here today represent the new generation of leaders of Bangladesh R&D industry. And as I mentioned, your parents' generation being one of the greatest industrial success stories of the last 50 years. They transformed Bangladesh into one of the world's leading garment manufacturing nations and created opportunities for millions of people. One of the key reasons for this success was that they had the vision and the courage to be pioneers. They were first movers. Today, history is giving your generation the same opportunity. Your generation has an extraordinary opportunity and a great responsibility to write the next chapter of that success. The future is not about producing garments. It is about creating more value. Your parents' generation were the first movers. Now it is your turn. Build the industries that can supply what we are importing from abroad. Fill the gaps in the supply chain. Bring more European technology and know-how to Bangladesh as well. And remember that our biggest market, the European Union, is changing. Higher standards on sustainability, due diligence and traceability are becoming the new reality. Those who adapt first will be the ones who attract investment, the partnerships and the opportunities of the future. So don't see exchange as obstacles. See them as your next competitive advantage. But entrepreneurs cannot do this alone. The private sector creates industries, but the government creates the conditions that allow those industries to flourish. Together, government and businesses can create the conditions for Bangladesh's next stage of growth. If I may use a football analogy now, last night we watched the World Cup final. Reaching the World Cup is already a great achievement, but winning it requires an entirely different type of preparation. We in Bangladesh have now entered the World Cup of global business. After the NICC graduation, the rules will change. Competition will become tougher, and our competitors are not standing still. Many are already negotiating free trade agreements and strengthening their position in global markets. Bangladesh cannot be left behind. We cannot afford it. That is why I believe an EU-Bangladesh free trade agreement is not simply another trade agreement. It is a strategic necessity for Bangladesh's future economy. A free trade agreement is not negotiated overnight. It is a journey that requires preparation, reforms, trust, and commitment from both sides. That journey must begin now, and believe me, it is urgent. An intention for an FTA is not starting the negotiation of an FTA. For me, this is really very important. The challenge for Bangladesh today, it is not only to say that it wants an agreement. It is to demonstrate through concrete actions, reforms, and a stronger investment climate that Bangladesh is ready to begin negotiations. By strengthening the investment climate, addressing the non-tariff barriers, and improving the issue of doing business, Bangladesh can send a clear message to its European partners that it is committed, prepared, and ready to begin the negotiations. The private sector also has a vital role to play. Every investment, every improvement in competitiveness, and every step towards higher standards strengthen Bangladesh's case. This is one of the greatest strategic challenges and one of the greatest opportunities for Bangladesh today. And please, don't forget that the European Union, our largest export market, is introducing new legislations on sustainability, due diligence, and traceability and environmental performance. We need to be ready. Please be ready for that. Some see these changes as new obligations. I see them as an opportunity to modernize, innovate, move up the value chain, and strengthen Bangladesh's position as a world-class manufacturing hub. Europe has been Bangladesh's largest export partner for decades. But our relationship has always been more than that. It's been more than trade. It has been a partnership. And I firmly believe that the next chapter of that partnership can be even stronger. Let me finish where I began. More than 30 years ago, I chose Bangladesh. It was one of the best decisions of my life. I'm telling you this from my heart as well. My hope is that together, all of us in this room, we will build a Bangladesh where 30 years from now, another entrepreneur, another executive, or another investor can stand on this very stage and say, one of the best decisions of my life was choosing Bangladesh. Thank you.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।